Today's program is brought to you by pennystockprofessor.com. For all the best OTCBB stock picks, sign up at pennystockprofessor.com. Thank you for tuning in to another TBC Daily News Update. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano. In entertainment news, Bristol Palin has gone to court demanding that Levi Johnson step up as a dad and pay her some of the money he's raked in from his naked media blitz. Court documents were filed by Bristol's lawyer late Thursday afternoon in Alaska, demanding $1,750 a month in child support from Levi, retroactive to the birth of son Trip on December 27, 2008. According to the documents obtained by TMZ, Bristol believes Levi has pulled in an excess of $105,000 in 2009 through various media interviews and modeling-related activities. The $105,000 figure is significant because under Alaska law, a non-custodial parent must pay 20% of income up to $105,000 a year, which comes to $1,750 a month. Bristol says in her sworn statement, "I have received limited and sporadic financial assistance from Levi." Bristol says Levi has forked over only $4,400 over the 13 months of Tripp's life. Levi Johnson's manager, Tank Jones, tells TMZ Levi has paid Bristol more than $10,000 since Tripp was born. Jones also says Levi does not make money off of every interview he does, though he did not say exactly how much Levi has made.
In today's financial news, stocks fell sharply, sending the Dow Jones Industrial Average to its worst two-day percentage drop since June, as governments showed signs of toughening their love this year and racing to support financial markets last year. The Dow fell 213.27 points, or 2%, after Wednesday's 122-point drop. It is down 3.1% in 2 days. After beginning the year with sharp gains, the Dow now shows a decline of 0.4% for 2010. Thursday's pullback allowed for President Barack Obama's announcement of plans to limit bank size and move back towards the long-standing division between commercial banks, which cater to the broad public, and investment firms, which take bigger risks and trade for their own accounts. Stocks briefly rebounded after Democratic Massachusetts Representative Barney Frank, chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, said the changes could take years to accomplish, but they soon resumed their declines. Financial shares in the S&P 500 fell 3%, while there were signs that the concerns went beyond the day's Washington news. Companies that make basic commodities such as copper and steel that are beneficiaries of the world growth fell 4%, even more than financials. The continuing declines of stocks linked to global growth reflect concerns that governments are starting to pull back some of their support for world economies.
The one-time San Diego socialite Betty Broderick was denied parole for fatally shooting her ex-husband and his new wife more than 20 years ago, with a two-person panel saying she remains angry and unrepentant over her crime. The decision came after a dramatic 5-hour hearing in which Broderick's own 4 children were decided on whether she should win her freedom. 2 believed she should remain behind bars. Broderick, who is 62, was convicted in 1991 of second-degree murder and sentenced to 32 years to life in prison for the slayings. Her story became the subject of a book and 2 TV movies. She has maintained she was driven to kill by a bitter divorce and custody battle. The denial was for the longest term possible of 15 years, although Broderick could reapply in 3 years if she makes progress. Broderick delivered a rambling commentary during the hearing. She claimed she didn't intend to kill anyone when she went to the San Diego home of her prominent lawyer ex-husband Daniel Broderick and shot the couple in their bed in 1989. But she said she had violent thoughts as she approached the home. Betty married Daniel Broderick in 1969, and they had 4 children. In the late 1980s, Daniel began an affair with another woman whom he eventually married. His divorce battle with Betty lasted 4 years. Betty told the board her whole world fell off its axis when her husband left her and won custody of the children. Betty also said, "I couldn't get a settlement and I couldn't get the kids. I allowed the voices in my head to completely take over." At her trial, Betty admitted firing the gun that killed her 44-year-old ex-husband and his new wife. She portrayed herself as the victim of a heartless man who discarded her for a younger, slimmer woman, then used his legal skills and clout with the local judiciary to gain unfair advantages in the divorce and child custody cases. Daniel said she bombarded him with obscene telephone calls, smearing a Boston cream pie on his clothes, and driving her truck through his front door. It took 2 trials to convict her. The first ended in a hung jury, and the foreman was quoted as saying of the shootings, "We just wonder why it took her so long."
In today's U.S. news, the Supreme Court has handed lobbyists a new weapon. A lobbyist can now tell any elected official, if you vote wrong, my company, labor union, or interest group will spend unlimited sums explicitly advertising against your re-election. We've got $1 million we can spend advertising for you or against you, whichever one you want. A lobbyist can tell lawmakers, said Lawrence Noble, a lawyer at Skadden Arps in Washington and former general counsel for the Federal Election Commission. The decision seeks to let voters choose for themselves among a multitude of voices and ideas when they go to the polls. But it will also increase the power of organized interest groups at the expense of candidates and political parties. It is expected to unleash a torrent of attack advertisements from outside groups aiming to sway voters, without any candidate having to take the criticism for dirty campaigning. The biggest beneficiaries might be well-placed incumbents whose favor companies and interest groups are eager to court. And it could have a big impact on state and local governments where a few $1 million can have more influence on elections.
Today in fashion, as Maybelline prepares for its second season as the official cosmetic sponsor of Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, it announced its lineup of fall 2010 shows. The brand will be conceiving the beauty looks for 8 designers, including RVCA Aaron Wasson, Michael Angel, Vivian Tam, Custo Barcelona, Carlos Mil, Tracy Reese, Max Azria, and William Rast. This will be the second consecutive season that Maybelline will team up with Angel Reese and Aaron Wasson. Global makeup artist Charlotte Willer will oversee the Maybelline teams and work directly with the designers.
Today's top 10 volume trading stocks as of noon are as follows. Cord Blood America Incorporated, CBAI with 256 million shares. Zevitech Incorporated, ZVTK with 82 million shares. Unico Incorporated, UNCO with 60 million shares. Cyberlux Corporation, CYBL with 39 million shares. Greenshift Corporation, GERS with 32 million shares. Medifile International Incorporated, MDFI with 26 million shares. Camelot Entertainment Group Incorporated, CMGR with 16 million shares. MedClean Technologies Incorporated, MCLN with 15 million shares. Luminol Incorporated, UNLU with 12 million shares. And PTS Incorporated, PTSH with 12 million shares. The Chinese Foreign Ministry lashed out Friday against criticism of China in a speech on internet censorship made by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, calling on the United States government to respect the truth and to stop using the so-called internet freedom question to level baseless accusations. Ma Zhaozhou, a foreign ministry spokesman, said a written statement posted Friday afternoon on the ministry's website that criticism leveled by Mrs. Clinton on Thursday was harmful to Sino-American relations. He also said the Chinese internet is open. The statement by Foreign Ministry, along with scratching editorial in the English-language edition of the Global Times, a populist patriotic newspaper, signaled that China was ready to wrestle politically with the United States in a debate over internet censorship. President Obama promised last year to start a more consolidatory era in United States-China relations, pushing human rights issues to the background, but new criticism of China's internet censorship and rising tensions over currency valuation and Taiwan's arms sales indicate that animus could flare in the months ahead.
Thank you for tuning in to another TBC Daily News Update. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.